So yes, they still build. Again, a builder builds, period. They don't stop. We do. A small little investor doesn't think this way. I get it. But this is not that case. If your job is to wake up every day and go build a home building, like we flew in yesterday into a really, really small town right on the border of Utah and Nevada. I don't know if you looked at all the home. Oh, that's right. You weren't on that flight. There was. I was looking out. There was home building going on to my left, to my right, and I was like, man, look at this. This little community here is on fire. And so that's what happens.
But I can tell you, when I went to the Lennar Homes last week, is that something interesting they're doing is they are putting ADUs attached to the homes, and they have a separate entrance. Not all of them, but there's certain models, and they have a separate entrance, and they can go straight through. You never have to see the person attached, and they're marketing it as your mother-in-law can live here, or you can rent it out, because you are allowed to rent it out. So I think that is their angle of trying to make things more affordable.
But they're not doing that for charity.
No.
That's a cost. Like the home buyer pays for that. Just like they pay for an upgraded floor.
They are, but at the same time, the home was still that 1,500 square feet, just like the other ones. This one just had I don't know how many 400 square foot, 80 or whatever it was, ADU attached to the garage.
But why would they add? How can adding more square footage make things more affordable?
They didn't add more square footage.
Well, they would. An ADU takes up more.
No, they basically had homes that were 1,500 square feet or homes that were 1,100 square feet with a 400 square foot ADU attached.
So they're the exact same.
Mm-hmm.
Why does that make more sense?
Because it makes it affordable. Because if somebody rents that out for
how is that cheap?
1,500
square feet. Well, you just rebrand it.
Because if somebody's helping with their mortgage, because if it's an $800 ADU that you're renting out, then you can take that off of your monthly mortgage every month. That's why they're doing it.
Okay, but it's the home price doesn't change. All it does is it transfers the income risk to the person buying the house.
But people are trying to solve to the monthly payment, and when you get $800
no,
a month,
that makes sense. But they're solving. But that's not affordable housing. That basically, that's house hacking. That's actually Lennar stepping up, or Pulte, or whoever the company is, and saying, I'm going to offer the homeowner some way to house hack.
Yep.
But that
help them with the payment.
But yeah. But I get that. But that's not affordable housing.
Yep.
That is not. No, the price is the same.
But that's what they're doing right now.
Oh no, I love the idea,
and I don't think it's a horrible idea either.
I love the idea.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, listen, if you can help people, get into these, right? It'll be interesting to see how the mortgage company does those, right? Like, how do we finance something that's both primary and a rental? But regardless of that 1,500 square foot home that you just mentioned, it's not cheaper.
No, but I will say I think this is interesting. There was none available of that. So that's clearly a selling point.
By the way, I love that idea.
Yeah.
But what if they, since they're not going to occupy that 400 square feet, what if they just built a home 1,100 square feet?
Well, they're on minimum lot sizes already, so then the builder loses money.
How? You mean because they get that extra 400 square feet?
Because, they're still paying for the same amount for the land.
I know, but...
and now they're not getting that money.
But again, if we're talking about affordability, we're talking about a price of a home. Mm-hmm. The price of a home is less at 1,100 square foot than it is at 15. Mm-hmm. Period.
Yep. And the builder makes less money, period.
Of course. Mm-hmm. Right. That's the other side of affordability. That's if you're talking capitalism at its finest, right? Mm-hmm. What they've done is they figured out a way for the homeowner to subsidize their mortgage if they want to rent that other piece, but it doesn't solve the affordability problem.
Yeah, I mean they're selling. I mean they're selling it where they're at. I mean they definitely are. I mean they just raised their rates.
Yeah. Anyway, I think we just have two different views. And by the way, 1,500 square foot brand new home is small.
But I will say, though, that if, at least in the Phoenix area, that if you're looking at new builds, they're way out. I mean, they're not in, your main part of town either, because there's just not A, room, and B, cost. So they are, and the further you go out, the cheaper and more affordable those homes are.
Well, that's because of the land. Mm-hmm. So let me be clear on this, because we're a builder. A 1,500 square foot home out on the edge of town or in the middle of town is the exact same cost. Mm-hmm. The difference is the land.
Yep.
So when land becomes cheaper, then the whole thing becomes cheaper, and that's why the cheaper homes are out on the edge of town. That's pretty common. But I want to be clear: if somebody's living in 1,100 square feet, I mean that's the size of our 2-bedroom, 1-bath, or 2-bedroom, 2-baths in our apartments. That's small. That's a extremely efficiently well designed place. It'd be interesting to see whether they have garages on that or not.
Yeah, there was a garage, and the ADU was attached to basically the entrance of the ADU was a separate entrance through the garage from this.
I love that. So again, I guess the point of this is the market responding.
Yeah, it is, and that was very unusual. I've never seen that.
I haven't seen that either. I love that idea because ADUs are all over, and what they're doing is they're basically building a house hack. That's essentially